Good evening. The purpose of this episode is to highlight the thoughts, behaviors, and habits that define entrepreneurial mindset, drive success in the business world. Whether you're a seasoned business owner or an aspiring entrepreneur, this podcast is your guide to understanding and harnessing the power of entrepreneurial spirit. Our guest today has inspired me on a business and spiritual level. I'm inspired by her spirituality, business ethics, and just the vibe that she brings to the room. Her smile, her eyes both actually speak louder than words. I consider this person who can set an example of how to live a balanced entrepreneurial and spiritual life, and at the same time addressing occasional imbalances of life with equanimity. She is the Gargi Shah, founder of the Place from the Mumbai city of the India.
Wow. Hi, Krisham. That was quite a tall introduction to live up to, but thank you very much for inviting me on your podcast, and I'm delighted to be a part of it.
Thank you. Uh, so let us begin with so you've been running a co-working space for the last 10 years, and I have been a frequent visitor for the last 10 months. So I can see that something, the vibe of the co-working space, something is there that keeps bringing me back to the cafe, to the events. When I when I spend time there, it feels like a campus, where you've got your friends, your networks, and everyone is chilling yet working on their goals, but in a very effortless way.
Thank you. In fact, it's so interesting that our first tagline about 11 years ago when we started it was the place, a startup campus, because we wanted to bring that vibe where you can chill, have fun, but at the same time, get meaningful work done. And in the whole sphere, there is a community that is supporting you and you're a part of. So I'm glad
Yes,
you have this feeling.
yes, and the thing is that when you're in an environment where it is more relaxed and it is more chilled, the mind starts to open up to new possibilities. You start to get more ideas, and that is so, according to me, the place is not just a co-working space, but it is a place of innovation, because your mind starts to relax and it starts to become more creative. So, uh, that is what I love about the vibe. And thanks to you, now we've got so many social events. Thanks to that karaoke event that we are here, and I've made truly some of the best people, and I've made so many friends. And now we are working together. At the same time, we are chilling.
Right.
So let us begin with the discussion. What are the defining characteristics of an entrepreneurial personality, and how do they differ from those of non-entrepreneurs?
Hmm.
From
I mean,
from your
yeah,
experience.
yeah, I understand. Like, what is essentially the difference between an entrepreneurial personality and somebody who's not entrepreneurial? Um, I'm not sure if by personality in itself there is a difference that some people can be entrepreneurs, some cannot be. There is something called a risk-taking appetite, I think, which is fundamentally different for entrepreneurs and non-entrepreneurs, because as an entrepreneur or as a business owner, you are predominantly working with risk and uncertainty. Whereas when you are, let's say, working as a salaried employee or any fixed freelancing gig, there is a certain sense of predictability and stability, which is the fundamental difference. When it comes to personalities, though, it is completely possible that a risk-taking person is stuck in a job, or somebody who would like predictability, stability, has chosen to take up a business and feels maybe conflicted or it's hard. But fundamentally, this is the difference between the nature of the work you do. One is heavy on risk and instability, the other is comfortable and stable. But with great risk come great reward. So in businesses and in any enterprise, there is like a greater possibility of a reward. It's not likely that it will always happen, but that's what you're aiming for, rewards which are multifaceted, which is, of course, you are hoping to make more money, which is why many people start up. But at the same time, you get to expand your horizon. You get to learn, and you need to learn several things, right? From marketing to sales to team building to setting up to finance to everything. You will need, by definition, to have your hands in all of these domains. Whereas in a job, you're getting focused on your particular domain and you excel at it. And then there is, of course, room for creativity and growth there as well. And I feel, in fact, that it's important to recognize how amazing that is. I feel a lot of people are very awed by entrepreneurs and startups, and this culture has this cool factor associated with it. But it is equally cool, perhaps even more so, to have stability, predictability, and within that domain, explore your creativity and explore your growth possibilities.
So basically, when you do take a new risk, like for example, a expansion, uh, how do you deal with the stress, with the uncertainty? Uh,
Yeah.
Apart from meditation, what else, like probably affirmations, or what do you do once you have taken that leap of faith? Then there is going to be a lot of uncertainty, yet curiosity. So how do you deal with those emotions?
Yes, you're absolutely right. When you're running your business, or when you're expanding your business, or when you're running your own ship, there is, I have at least experienced uh, a lot of uncertainty and stress and sort of troublesome inner environment. And it's taken a long time for me to figure out what works for me. Uh, but the key thing for me is to not let myself be defined by my business. I had to detach that personal from professional. It always is personal because you have skin in the game, but nonetheless, the more detached you are from the business, the better you can think about it, the better you can operate, and it can survive as an independent entity. Earlier, every single customer complaint, I would take it personally. Every single problem, right, from like something is not clean, the internet not working, and I would go through like, oh, now what will happen? How will we face this? Or, oh, the sales are low. What will happen? And when I got into these head spaces and heart spaces, it got particularly challenging because I could not think right. I was thinking from a place of fear, scarcity, and from a place of not the best way to make decisions. Whereas eventually, after about 7, 8 years of running the place and learning meditation actually, and learning several other doing therapy, doing many other practices, I realized that it's important that firstly, the business is the business, that's not me. And secondly, I will do my best and leave the rest. There is only so much I can do, and I should do my best. This I feel is the number one reason I see other people who, my peers who are running their own business, they get too involved, too entangled, and take it too personally. It's even possible for employees to do that. They feel, hey, this is our responsibility now. But it's important to say we will do our best, and that's good enough. There's nothing more we can anyway do. The second thing regarding keeping yourself calm is to invest in personal well-being activities. It could be creativity like cooking, art, dance. I practice almost all of them. I cook regularly. I make art. I journal. I dance. I also love fitness. So when I'm training, when I'm focused on my physical fitness and trying to get better, there is a shift from focus there to focus inwards, and I get better myself, and hence a better person making these decisions. So I feel it's important to have these other elements which are key in determining your personal well-being. And third and final, very important, is your relationships with others, which are non-transactional and non-commercial. It's important to have friends who can laugh at you, or family that can laugh at you, and you can, truly relax with them. Sometimes in business, people hang out with other business people, and even when they are relaxing or chilling, they're still talking business, they're still talking transactions, and they're still talking how to figure things out. It's okay once in a while, but I feel it's important to completely, cut it out and relax with a bunch of friends, which is non-business. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really great. You covered leisure, relationships, you covered meditation. So it all brings a healthy balance. I've seen many people who balance it out in unhealthy ways, but travel, meditation, healthy relationships, these are all good ways to balance the stress and fear and anxiety as and when it rises. But personally, uh, I see you as one of the most loving and compassionate entrepreneurs entrepreneurs, because when I've seen you at events, you're part of the audience, and you're very encouraging towards uh, participants. So I think that also forms a part of healthy relationships with visitors and leisure, listening to music, karaoke's, and stand-up shows. So it kind of cools you, the extra stress and all.
Yes, absolutely.
So I think you've already answered the second question. So you're, thank gone. How do you operate a business uh, spiritually with a spiritual with a spiritual thought process? Is this even possible, and how to manage it if that's the case?
This is
I hope
a
this is not
really
a very
interesting
sorry,
question. In
sorry.
fact, I've never
It's a very
thought.
complicated question.
No, it's actually a very good question. It's I've never even heard such a question before, and
Okay.
I think it's an important question because um, many people who are trying to really imbibe their spiritual self and also parallelly run a business, there are oftentimes conflicts. So, I mean, I start with a disclaimer that the word spiritual has a lot of connotations, and it's it's like entrepreneurship, startup, spiritual. These are buzzwords and they have their own meaning. For me, spiritual, I go back to the core of it, which means this it's something that has a spirit in it, and that spirit or soul, as I believe, that everything has a soul in it, every living being. And it is the soul's journey towards wherever it needs to go. That is what is the spiritual path. The soul will take it. The idea is to listen to what is being said from within, the inner voice, some people call it, the inner compass. So the question, if I summarize, is how can you embody spiritual principles while running a business? And it's interesting because most of the times we think that business, or the way we look at business, is fundamentally commercial, transactional, and profit driven. And in that, the goal is profit. The goal is to make money. The goal is expansion. The goal is growth. It comes with a predefined goal. This is what we have to do. Whereas for me, my understanding of the spiritual process is to be calm, to be silent, and to let the inner being guide the path. There is no goal. There isn't a particular fixed goal. There is a journey that one walks based on what is said. So this goal-driven approach versus a discovery-driven approach is the fundamental difference, the way I look at it, between running a business and being spiritual for me. And I think I let the business run spiritually because I have tried to take away all the goals from the business. Right from the start, it didn't feel right to me to decide that, oh, we should become the number one co-working space. Oh, we should have so many branches. Oh, our 5-year plan or our 10-year plan is we should have so much money in the bank. Our team should be 200 people or 2,000 people, and we should be there in all these locations. None of that really called out to me. Many companies operate like that, and that's their way of being. For me, the business, it's an incorporation, it's a corporation. So it's like in itself, it's a body. And that business also has a soul. It will emerge, it will evolve based on the people who are running it. And those people are our team members, those people are our customers, those people are like you and me and so many others who come together to form that business. So what we do essentially is that let these people design by not by conscious effort, but by serendipitous coming together. When we come together, it automatically emerges what must happen and where it goes. And what we have to do is just facilitate it. I, as the founder or the owner, I like to step out of the way, in fact, and let it flow in the direction and give as much energy and power to let it flow in that direction. So this is how I believe that the organization itself will discover its journey, whether it is more branches, whether we stay here in one branch but impact a lot of people, let them find a community, enjoy stand-ups, enjoy poetry, come recite poetry for the first time, sing, work, find a co-founder, whatever it is. It could be a small mom and pop shop, it could be an international chain, but whatever it is, For me, the spiritual path means letting it emerge and stepping out of the way. So this is how I balance it, if that makes sense.
Let go. Uh, Create, uh, build, create, uh, and then once it is built, slowly, let go, and let the staff, let the clients flow with each other.
Absolutely. In fact, I don't even call them staff or clients because we are all stakeholders or we are all builders. I am not more important than somebody else in the team or less important. It's all like even the person who's doing housekeeping, he is very
Yes.
critical in making sure that the space has a certain vibe. So we're all doing what we want to do, what feels right to us, and what gives us joy, somewhat aligned with the idea and the purpose of building a community space. And then it will emerge.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, that is what I've noticed that each and every member brings an element of positivity. And I think, yeah, that is what is the reason for the long-term sustained success. Because spirituality is not about uh, controlling other people or organizations, but it is about uh, gaining control over yourself, and letting go the need to control others.
Yeah, dude, there is no controlling others. Even if I can control some of my compulsiveness, I feel quite happy. If I feel compulsive, like I want to munch on something, but when I don't, I feel like, wow, this is
Yeah.
good. So for me personally, my journey is very important to me in the sense that it's important that I get rid of my compulsive behavior one step at a time, which is what I'm personally working on. And I feel that every time I work on myself, somehow the external world responds in some kind of growth story or success or being invited to a podcast. I've never been invited to podcast earlier, but now this week itself, there are two invitations. So I
Oh,
feel that
wow.
when you work on yourself, this idea of success starts coming your way, I guess, in because you're naturally open to these possibilities.
When you work on yourself, you become more self aware, and when you become self aware, you get to understand other people before they understand you, and that creates a good rapport.
Yeah, maybe. I feel it's important that I understand my own self before
Yes,
anyone else enters the equation.
you're
And
the one.
understanding my mental patterns, understanding that is the work.
Yes.
If one can work on that, like why does my mind, what am I thinking? Why am I always thinking? When can I be silent? What are the kind of thoughts I have? Can I let go of certain thoughts which don't serve me? And this comes from very active, highly conscious practice, which is not immediately rewarding or there is no instant gratification of wow, that hit of dopamine or pleasure isn't there. This is in fact tedious work. But I feel all the real growth happens when you put in that focused hours. This fitness also, I feel like now I can do a handstand. And 3 years ago, I could not have even imagined it. But it took me 2 days a week for 2 years to keep at it, to keep at it, to keep doing it. And every time you're afraid and you're overcoming your fear, you're like, my head will hit the ground, and oh my God. And all of this you have to cross to be able to go to a space where you can try the handstand and then balance and then do it. So it's like any growth is a long process of serious effort, hard work without instant gratification every time. But eventually, it is amazing.
And during this journey of trying to do handstand, uh, did you get injured or something?
I mean, I fell a couple of times, and
Okay,
that is
and
another
then
thing. You know,
okay.
I'm very afraid of falling and hurting. But that's another thing. Like, if you're relaxed and calm even while you're falling, your body will fall in the best way it can. Of course, if it's a terrible fall, then that's that. But if you're not panicking in your head, like when I'm relaxed, and then if some accident happens, you can kind of fall in a way which is slightly more less injurious than otherwise. So being calm is important, and that's what I learn in my physical outdoor training, parkour training.
I can relate this with entrepreneurship, that when you are in a place of love and compassion, even if you face a minor failure, it will not be a hard landing, but it will be rather a soft landing. So I think
Absolutely.
the magic of running a successful venture, I would say two things. One, work on yourself, and the other one, do it with love and compassion.
Well said, Krishu. If only everyone did it like that, we would be definitely a far more fun place.
Now that
We
you
are still a
have
fun place.
shared, now that you have shared, I am going to be the next one, and I am going to share this message with our viewers, so that together we can elevate the vibration of this entire universe, so that we all do really well, and with whatever challenges and failures we might face, we deal with them in a more loving, compassionate, and equanimous way. I just love the word equanimity.
Clearly.
I love that
This is
word.
the fourth time you used it in this
Okay.
podcast.
Oh, okay. This is the fourth. So it
I
was
think.
a pleasure uh, to uh, to
Likewise,
speak
Rishabh,
to
I
you.
hope that I
There's
answered
a
your
lot to learn.
questions properly and satisfactorily.
Yes, and trust me, this session has taught me a lot, and next time we meet, I am going to be even more loving and compassionate, and the next time even more, and it's all going to
And we love to
manifest.
get more and enjoy more poetry and music. That's what
Everything,
we
yes,
should do.
absolutely, yes, yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Krishav. See you.
Thank you, thank you. See you.